Jenna, thank you so much for coming to talk to us today. I was hoping you could bring us back to what Max's birth was like and what your initial
Sure.
breastfeeding experiences were like.
We started out, we were hoping to have a natural birth. That did not go as planned at all, and I ended up having an emergency C-section.
Wow.
He was born 6 pounds, 9 ounces, and he was able to latch right away, so that worked out well, and things went smoothly in the hospital, and then as soon as I left the hospital, it kind of went downhill from there. I got a really bad crack that then turned into, I was already in a lot of pain, and I'd come to see you, and you were so helpful, and I was practicing the latch, and I got the crack after that, and then the crack turned into mastitis,
Oh my goodness.
which was pretty painful.
Very
And then
painful.
simultaneously, you would call to check in on me from before, and incredibly helpful with all the tips with mastitis. But however, the antibiotic, I then got thrush,
Oh my goodness.
and we had that for a little bit, and once that all cleared up, probably around 6 to 8 weeks, things finally
Improved.
clicked, and everything started going really well, and enjoying our time together. But I would say, for 6 to 8 weeks, it was probably the hardest thing I ever have done in my whole life. But
Yeah.
I'm so happy now that I stuck with it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So I think breastfeeding can be difficult in the first few weeks anyway, but then you added mastitis and thrush, which is even more difficult. So your commitment to it, I think, made a huge difference.
Yeah, we really wanted to stick with it because natural birth didn't go as we had planned, and this was something that, as painful as it was and hard, we had control over. So, I mean, it was hard to get through, but it was something that I knew I could do.
Right.
So
Yeah,
we stuck with it, and I'm
Good
really
for
happy
you.
now that we did.
good.
Yeah.
Can I ask, what kind of support did you have that helped you to get through those really tough weeks?
Well, you were wonderful.
Oh, you're
And
very kind to
I
say that.
I love the practice I go to, and I was treated there for mastitis and thrush, but they didn't spend nearly the time or had the amount of advice that you had and the other nurses over the warm line that I spoke with. So that was wonderful. I also go to a new mom group at Women and Infants, which is great too. And I had for a while, a supply issue. It took me, it was probably 2 months before I was able to put anything in a freezer or have anything to leave him more than, say, 2 hours with. So it took a really long time to get to that point. And the women in the new moms group had great tips and ideas and things to do. And I think I'm still eating my oatmeal with brewer's yeast and flax in the morning. And I was pumping after I finished pumping in the morning, and I think that really finished feeding him in the morning. I think that really helped too.
I'm glad to hear you went to the new moms group. I know when I was a young mother, I thought, I'm not really a joiner. I don't think I want to do that, but I have learned so much from other mothers, things that you can't pick up from books. And it's nice to have somebody else who's going through the same thing that you are.
It is, and it's nice too. Because there's all ages of the children. So you have the moms who have been through what you've gone through already. You have the moms that are going through the same thing at the exact same time, and then you have the new moms that come in, and then you're able to help them. And it's
Yes.
a really nice community.
Was your husband, your partner, supportive?
Yes, he's been very, very supportive, because especially in the beginning when I had the cracks and the mastitis, and I was doing a lot of pumping, so in the middle of the night, and for some reason he was having a lot of trouble latching in the middle of the night. I think we may have traced it back to his head, like being stuffy, so I would suction him out every night and try that, but I'd be like in tears because it hurt so bad, and he would be up with me, and he'd be like, I'll get a bottle. I'm like, no, I want to try a little longer, and he'd wait up with me, and then when I couldn't try any longer, he'd get a bottle from pumped milk earlier, and he was wonderful.
Yeah.
It does help to have somebody.
Who's willing to fight it out with
Definitely.
you. Yeah, I think that's hugely important.
And I think he was also very supportive about it. He's a diabetic, and it runs in his family. So he also felt very strongly about breastfeeding and the benefits of it, and he doesn't want his son to have to struggle with the same issues he has.
Sure. If you were trying to give advice to mothers who haven't had a baby yet, who are thinking about breastfeeding, what do you think you would tell them?
I think the best thing for me that happened going into it was one of my best friends had a baby probably about 6 months before me, and I went to go visit her down in Atlanta. And she actually had almost everything, same problems I had all the way through.
Goodness.
Because I always thought it was just something your body will do naturally, and the baby's going to know, and everything's going to be perfect. And I went down there, and I basically saw her like in the thick of how difficult times, and it helped me to know that like this isn't necessarily going to just be this easy thing. And so I did take a breastfeeding class before because I tried to prepare for that as much as possible.
Yeah.
So I think I would say the class was great before as well. And I don't know if there is a community like before you get pregnant to like talk to women. I mean, some women are really lucky and it does come naturally, but I think knowing up front that it doesn't always work was a big help because I was kind of prepared for the fact that this may not be easy.
Right.
So I think that was a big help.
I think that is huge. Yeah, because I think a lot of times mothers will start to think, what's wrong with me? Like everybody else can do this, why can't I? Instead of realizing many people really struggle to get through the rough weeks.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's good to talk about how the bonding doesn't necessarily happen right away.
Mm-hmm. People would tell me from the beginning what a wonderful bonding experience it is, and I couldn't imagine that, and the pain I was in, and night after night, crying at night, and but after that 6 or 8 week point, it really turned around, and it's true. Everything everyone told me is true, and I really do cherish the time now, and I know I'm gonna miss it when it ends.
Oh my gosh, look at that face. Oh my gosh, Max. Oh, sweetie. You did such a good job, buddy. If you need help or advice with breastfeeding, call one of the lactation consultants on the warm line at 1-800-711-7011 or speak with your pediatrician. Additional resources are available on our website at womeninfants.org.